Science rules! The adrenal glands lie behind the organs of the gastrointestinal tract, next to the spine and just above the kidneys in a space called the retroperitoneum. To emphasize how important this gland is, consider that the testicles or ovaries of a man or woman could be removed without any further medical attention, and that person would continue to live. Without critical medical care, a patient would die shortly after the removal of the adrenal glands. And now here's my associate, Corey.
The three hormones produced by the cortex are aldosterone, which is a mineralocorticoid, cortisol, which is a glucocorticoid, and testosterone, which is an androgen. So those are the three types of hormones that the cortex produces. Science.
Now here's Brew with some helpful information.
So now I'm going to go into a little more depth about the cortex. The cortex can be divided into three different layers, which each secrete respectively one of the three classes of hormones that my friend Corey was talking about. So the first and outer layer is the zona glomerulosa, which secretes the mineralocorticoid hormones that Corey was talking about. These hormones help in maintaining the balance of water and electrolytes within the body, and it also acts on the kidneys, the salivary and sweat glands to help control reabsorption. The second section of the cortex, and the largest part, which you can see takes up about 80% of the cortex, is the zona fasciculata. And this section secretes glucocorticoids, the most important of which, like Corey already told us, is cortisol. Cortisol is responsible for the control of carbohydrates, proteins, and lipid metabolism. The final layer of the cortex is the zona reticularis, and it is the innermost layer, which secretes androgens, which are hormones that control the development and maintenance of male characteristics. Back to Bill Nye, the science guy.
The adrenal medulla produces adrenaline, known as epinephrine, and noradrenaline, known as norepinephrine.
Adrenaline and noradrenaline help improve the fight-or-flight reflex a number of ways. By increasing the blood flow to the brain and muscles, increasing the heart rate and breathing rate. Also, these hormones decrease blood flow to muscles and glands that aren't important to responding in emergencies. And now Rue is going to talk to you about the fight-or-flight reflex.
The flight or flight response is a process initiated by the sympathetic nervous system when your body encounters a threatening or stressful situation. The hormones of the adrenal medulla contribute to this response. They are released after the sympathetic nervous system is stimulated, which occurs when you're stressed. The adrenal medulla helps you deal with physical and emotional stress.
Now here's Brew with some helpful information.
Hello. Today I'm going to talk about two common disorders of the adrenal glands. The first is Cushing's syndrome. This name refers to problems due to excess cortisol in the body. It can be caused by many things, such as the intake of medicines or excessive use of steroids, but in relation to the adrenal glands, it is caused by a tumor in the pituitary gland. The tumor stimulates overproduction of corticotrophin. Excess of corticotrophin activates adrenal gland overgrowth, which leads to excess cortisol secretion. Symptoms to look out for are upper body obesity, thin arms and legs, severe fatigue and muscle weakness, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and easy bruising. The second disease is called Addison's disease, and this happens if the adrenal glands do not make enough of the hormones that it usually produces. A problem with your immune system usually causes Addison's disease, and the immune system mistakenly attacks your own tissues, damaging your adrenal glands. If this disease is left untreated, the effects can be deadly, and treatment involves a series of hormone pills that have to be taken over the rest of your life. Some symptoms of Addison's disease are weight loss, muscle weakness, fatigue that gets worse over time, low blood pressure, and patchy or dark skin. Chronic stress will overwork the adrenal gland to the point of exhaustion, and eventually they become too fatigued to meet the needs of the body. Back to Bill Nye for a little more on what this can mean.
Consider the following. Any major or chronic stress will affect the adrenal gland. It is not a gland that deals well with the modern day lifestyle. A few thousand years ago, our stress responses were not asked to last days or even months. If we encountered a lion, we would need to fight the lion, flee from the lion, or be eaten by the lion. This type of stress would be decided in a matter of seconds or minutes. This is much different from the daily attacks of an impatient boss, a terrible commute, or a rocky relationship. While our mind knows that our boss at work does not threaten our lives, from the neck down, the adrenal gland and other organs respond by hearing the same instinctive alarms. So the stress encountered day in and day out at work is sending the message, lion. The body can run from a lion for short distances, but it was not made to outrun the lion every hour of the day. Thank you for joining me on Consider the Following.
Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Science rules.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Inertia is a property of matter.
Thanks for watching.